I never thought trusting someone could become my biggest regret, because for the longest time, I believed trust was something pure, something that builds slowly, and once it's there, it doesn't break easily. My name is Maya, I'm 24, and before he came into my life, I was careful. I didn't open up easily. I didn't let people get too close without understanding who they really were. I had seen enough to know that not everyone deserves your honesty. Not everyone values your feelings. But somehow, when he came into my life, all of that caution slowly disappeared. His name was Daniel, and the first time we spoke, it felt simple. Nothing dramatic, just a normal conversation that didn't feel forced. He was calm, respectful, and easy to talk to, and that alone made him different. Because in a world where most conversations feel fake or rushed, he felt real. And maybe that's where everything started. Not with love, but with comfort. A kind of comfort that makes you feel safe without even realizing it. We started talking more often. At first, it was just small conversations, random topics, but slowly those conversations became deeper, more personal, and I didn't even notice when he became a part of my daily life. I would wake up and check my phone, hoping to see his message, and most days it was there. A simple, "Good morning," or something thoughtful, and those small things started to matter more than I expected. He remembered little details about me, things most people forget, and every time he did that, I felt seen. I felt important, like I actually mattered to him. And slowly, that feeling turned into trust. Not forced, not rushed, but natural, like something that just happens when you feel safe with someone. He would say things like, "You can tell me anything," or "I'm always here." And those words stayed with me. They made me believe I could rely on him, that he wouldn't hurt me, that he was different. And maybe that was my biggest mistake, believing someone is different just because they say the right things. We started sharing more personal things, fears, insecurities, things we don't usually tell anyone. And every time I opened up, he listened. He responded in a way that made me feel understood. And that kind of connection is rare, or at least that's what I believed. I trusted him completely. I told him things I had never told anyone else, and in return, he shared parts of himself too, or at least I thought he did. And that made me feel closer to him, like we were building something real, something strong, something that couldn't break easily. And for a while, everything felt right, calm, steady, like something that just fits into your life. But the truth is, not everything that feels right is real. Sometimes it just feels right because you want it to. There were moments, small ones, that didn't make sense. Times when he would disappear without explanation. Times when his replies became cold, distant, like he was someone else. And every time that happened, I felt something was off, a small doubt, but I ignored it. I told myself he was busy. I told myself not to overthink because I trusted him. And when you trust someone completely, you stop questioning things. You stop protecting yourself. You believe everything they say without doubt, and that's exactly what I did. I believed him, without realizing that real trust is not blind, it's aware. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, and my feelings grew deeper, stronger, more real. I wasn't just talking to him anymore. I was emotionally attached. I thought about him. I imagined a future where everything would make sense, where we would finally meet, where all the confusion would disappear. And I held on to that idea tightly, without ever asking him what I really was to him, because I was afraid. Afraid that the answer might break the story I had created in my mind. And then one day, something small changed everything. I was scrolling through my phone when I saw a profile, a girl's profile, and at first it didn't seem important, but then I noticed something familiar. The way he was talking to her, the words he used, the tone. It felt exactly the same way he talked to me, the same care, the same attention. And in that moment, everything inside me dropped, because I realized something I had been avoiding for so long. I wasn't the only one. I wasn't special. I was just one of many. Another person he made feel important, another story he was repeating. And suddenly, all those words he said to me didn't feel special anymore. They felt shared, repeated, empty. And that realization hurt more than anything else because it didn't just break my heart, it broke my trust. The one thing I had given him completely, without holding anything back. That night, he texted me like always. "Hey, what are you doing?" And I stared at that message for a long time because for the first time, it didn't feel the same. It didn't feel warm. It didn't feel real. It felt empty. And for the first time, I asked him something I had been avoiding. I said, "Do you talk to other girls the same way you talk to me?" There was a pause, longer than usual, and then he replied, "Why does it matter?" And that answer told me everything. Because if I really mattered, that question wouldn't be a problem. And in that moment, I understood something important. Trust is not about believing everything someone says, it's about seeing whether their actions match their words. And when they don't, you have to be strong enough to accept the truth, even if it hurts. I didn't argue. I didn't try to change him. I didn't try to hold on to something that was already broken. I just said, "I trusted you completely." And he replied, "I didn't ask you to." And those words, they hurt, but they also gave me clarity, because they made me realize that I had given him my trust without making sure he deserved it. And for the first time, I chose myself. I chose to walk away, not because I didn't care, but because I finally understood that I deserved better. I deserved honesty. I deserved consistency. I deserved someone who wouldn't make me feel like trusting them was a mistake. And if you're listening to this, if you've ever trusted someone and ended up feeling broken, remember this. Your ability to trust is not your weakness. It's your strength. The mistake is not trusting. The mistake is ignoring the signs and holding on to someone who doesn't value it. Because the right person will never make you regret trusting them. They will protect it, respect it, and never make you feel like it was your biggest mistake. Thank you for listening. And if this story felt real to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because sometimes the hardest lessons are the ones we need the most.